Alrighty, we're back.
Podcast number 3,
Yep,
episode number 3.
episode number 3.
Change of location for me. I'm at the in-laws, so
Sweet.
fun. All right. You want to start it off?
Yeah, let's do it. So, um, well, the note that we left off on last time was, the thought process of the market will never overpay you for, right? The market will never
The
overpay you.
market,
Yeah, go
yeah, the
ahead.
way Patrick says it is the market mathematically can't pay you more than you're worth.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's start off with that. You want to take a crack at it?
Yeah, I think that it's definitely an interesting thought. The more that I'm working and growing in work life and everything, the more I'm seeing that aspect in real life where the problems that I was solving or the services I was providing when I was making less than I make now, my worth to the marketplace was that. And the bigger the problems you start to solve and the uh I guess the different services you start to provide, that's when the market starts to repay you for the work that you're putting in.
Yeah. Like the
Um,
more skills you stack, the more, like, just automatically you'll start earning more because your time is worth more.
yeah, and not even like stacking skills. I think they're just like really getting good at something specific.
Hmm.
Um, like if someone has a goal to do like a lawn care business, and if they really what they need to do is either find someone to do the work for them and they do all the selling, or do both, or do the work and find someone to sell for them, and so it's like if you have the value to do both, then you'll make the most money out of those three options.
Hmm. You don't think there's scalability involved with if you do hire people to do the physical work and then you
That
become really good at sales, for instance, then you could
for
scale way
sure,
more?
for sure, yes. You could definitely scale way more, and I think that that's when we're talking about the skill stacking. That's when you're now knowing how to sell a project. You probably know how to do the work, and you can now manage people who are actually going to be there on site to do the work for your customers. And then the next skill is having those guys who then go out and sell for you. And then, having that one guy who runs those guys, and then you're just, you know,
Yeah,
sitting back.
exactly. But the interesting thought is company, your business cannot exceed you when it comes to
Hmm.
what kind of a person you are because people see how you run and operate your business and you're a reflection of what the business is going to be. Your
Yeah.
business is a reflection of who you are currently.
Hmm.
So if your business isn't doing very well, that means you're not doing very well. So I
Yep.
think that's another cool thing with, like, yeah, put on the no strip wrong. Hopefully it doesn't trigger anyone's OCD. But yeah, it's interesting. With business, it's the same thing. If you don't outwork your competition, you're not going to beat them. There's no hacks. There's literally no shortcuts. You just got
Yep.
to outwork them. It's crazy, like watching some Alex Hormozy videos the other day. It's like the level of work that these people do is insane. Like in 1 hour, they'll probably work more and get more done than I will in like a week. Like probably work 7 times more in an hour than I can. Just the output is insane.
Yep.
So it makes sense how I don't think it's ever really luck unless you're like a day trader, to be honest, or even chance. It's just the amount of work they put in is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. That's what I come back to thinking. about is his video where he says like you don't know how to work. You probably haven't worked, an hour of your life. And
Yeah.
I think about that and I'm like, I do believe that I do believe that I have worked for like real where you're just knocking stuff out, and you're just going nonstop. But I think that there is like a whole nother level that is just like crazy high output and super focused work, I feel like.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of
definitely.
interesting. How do you
For
think
me,
that, go
yeah,
ahead.
go ahead. No, no.
I was gonna say, how do you think that, like, do you think that the way to get good at that is just to work? Like, just work more and you'll get better at working? Or do you think that there's something specific that you can train or do, or what are your thoughts on that?
I think just like Alex says, like you gotta first spend a lot of time working, just put in the hours. But if you're not seeing progress, you're working on the wrong thing.
Hmm.
So first get used to hard work because your time isn't worth anything, so it's just pure grunt work.
Yeah.
Like you're just trying to run through walls. Like that's your job at first. Like you're not being strategic, you're not like trying to figure out what's the most efficient way to spend every minute because your time isn't really worth anything. You got to learn how to work hard first and then you get to start prioritizing. Like these
Mhm.
are the non-negotiables that I have to do today. And you start knowing like how much you can work. You got to learn your limits. You got to learn when you're most productive, what
Yeah.
days you should be, going crazy, and then what days you just got to take it easy because it's just no point. So I think it's literally just like at first you just work hard. You can't, and then you start noticing the things that you're not doing. But you always have to step back, I think, and track progress. That's something that I don't do enough.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
looking, all right, how far have I gone? Am I just staying in the same place? Because I keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. That's called
Mhm.
insanity. Like you
For sure.
gotta get out of the hamster wheel and because you're not gonna move anywhere if you're stuck in there.
Yep.
So like I know right now my daily routines aren't getting me where I should be going or where I want to be.
Hmm.
Right now I'm stuck where I am because it's my fault, 100%. I can blame the market, which is bad for my, online business. Just overall, I'm seeing trending down, but it's my fault that I'm not getting more sales. The
Hmm.
market's always going to fluctuate. It's going to be good, it's going to be bad, but my work output should always be high. Like I should always be moving the business forward no matter what and not like allowing there to be excuses. Does that make sense? Because for a while there, like last year, I was like, yeah, the market's bad. And that was just my excuse.
Yeah.
Well, what am I gonna do? Okay, and no one
Yep.
cares. Like, go work, right? That's like what Alex says, and I really like that. It's a good
That
takeaway.
that part of like the value, so that part of it is like the market doesn't care. That when I first heard that, or when I first like really understood that, it gave me first, yeah, a lot of freedom because sometimes you think that like you need like you have mind constraints. When you truly understand that like people don't really care about you, the market for sure doesn't care about paying you a lot.
Yeah,
And it's just you have to just work hard and start positioning yourself to grow in those specific things. Like I'm even thinking, yeah, market goes up and down, but if your overall trajectory and value that you have and bring to your own company, that's gonna just keep going up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if the market's going down, just make yourself more valuable. And
Hmm.
really interesting, kind of like convicting for me, because with my job, the stuff I'm doing right now and why I'm saying it's not moving me forward, I could do all this with my eyes closed, backwards, hand tied, like both hands tied behind my back with my eyes closed and watching a movie. Like that's the
Yeah.
type of work I do right now. To me, it's just so methodical and boring. And it's good. I got to, a certain level of skill when it comes to product photography, getting new listings out, doing customer service, um, dealing with suppliers. Like all of that stuff for me is just boring. And for
Hmm.
someone, obviously, if it's their first time trying to go through it, it's difficult. There's a lot of little things to figure out. I'm managing two other people's shops
Hmm.
partially.
Yeah.
Literally, it takes me like for them maybe half an hour or an hour to get done what takes me literally 1 minute. Like I'll tell them something and they try to figure out, they're like, yo, I can't get it. I literally go on there, boom, boom. Next day they get 5, 10 sales or whatever. And it's like
Yeah.
easy. So that level, and that's the issues now. I'm just at one point I started to just, all right, this is how hard I'm gonna work and turn
Mm.
on music or throw a Netflix show on the side. But it's like I'm definitely not gonna get anywhere doing that.
Definitely
Like the
not going to
market is
surpass.
bad, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely not helping. Like I can use as many excuses as I want not to work harder.
Yep. That's an interesting thought to me because even when we were talking about Biz Bros and thinking about the planning and how to strategically plan out, the year and the following, we were thinking about like orders, like number of orders. And in my head, I was like, okay, like 10 orders a day to me, 10 orders a day to me is like high. I remember talking to you where you're just like,
Yeah,
that's not too high. If you can get up to, 100. But if you're solving problems and the value that you're bringing to the company can take you from 100 to 1,000 to 2,000, 10,000, that's insanity.
yeah,
Like, like it seems unfathomable from where you are, but the only way to get there is just taking one step at a time, and you just continue to build that,
yeah.
that value and that progress.
This is an
Mm.
interesting thing. When the market was good, so I'd be about 100 orders a day on average.
Yeah,
50 to 100. Like weekend, I'd, get up to 200 orders a day. So that's pretty good. For any online business, that's very solid.
yeah.
That was when the market was quote unquote good. But I'm looking back at the amount of work I was putting in. I don't think it had as much to do with the market as it did the work that I put in. It
Mm.
definitely helped and it made a difference.
Yeah.
But looking back, dude, I was working way harder. Like literally 5 times harder and more. So I think that I've been there, so I know how much work it takes, and it's kind of ridiculous the amount of work
Mm.
because you literally just have to do the same thing over and over and over and over, but a lot of it and way more than I do now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it
Mm.
takes a ton. Like to get to that level is very doable. That's why for me, like 10 orders a day, it's like you're not putting in much work, in my opinion. Like to me, that just means that everyone's really half, what word can I use? Being, yeah, I can't think of a replacement, but that's how I view it. And so,
Yeah.
like, with the amount of manpower we have, I hope we can get to 50 orders a day quick. Like,
Mm.
just because we have so many more people working.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, it's an interesting thought. It's gonna be interesting to see how that fluctuates and changes, and that's interesting also to think and plan about is like not necessarily, what dollar amount I want to hit in a year, or, what thing do I want to achieve, but like who do you want to be in a year?
Yeah.
Um, what output do you want to have? Like that's an interesting way of thinking about kind of the same question, similar result, but a totally different way of looking at it and getting there.
Yeah. Do you need to head out already? It's
No, we're good.
3:30. Yeah?
We're good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Here's yeah, sorry, did you have any more questions to throw out
No,
right now?
go ahead.
Okay. What goals should you set and what should be your metrics of hitting, like what metrics should you be looking for to know if you're on track? Meaning, let's say you want to make it to $10,000 a month in personal income. Do you know what steps it's gonna take to get there? Why are you doing them? And if not, why? And what do you think it would take? Like Do you see yourself hitting that? Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yep. That's a good question. I think that
worded poorly,
worded, oh, I think that it's a good,
poorly phrased.
poorly phrased. I think it's a good question. I think that the way that you would go and track that is, again, looking at your output. Um, the thought of like, what can I do to, or in the market that makes it unreasonable for me to not make $10,000 a month? So if for example, look at sales. So if you're just like, okay, I'm going to go into sales and I want to make X, Y, and Z, $10,000 a month. If I'm making 10% commission on something, I need to sell $100,000 worth of something. So that's what you do. That's what you track. You track your output. Like, how can I sell? And you have more trackers. So it's like, in order to sell 100,000, I need to propose 300,000, 400, 500,000 to people.
Probably
If you have
600,000 worth.
yeah, yeah, especially starting out, like easy. So that means that you're talking to not just 10 of your customers, you're talking to, you know, 6 times more people than you think,
Yeah.
and probably more than that.
A
Um,
killer salesman closing rate is 40%.
40%.
And so you do
Yeah.
the math on that.
Yep. So 40% would be to be right around like 400, 400 offers, 350, something like that. But again, long story short, that's what you track. It's not how much time I'm spending in the office. It's how many people am I actually talking to? How many deals am I actually getting done? I think that that's one of the biggest things that I'm right now learning and trying to adjust and fix in my own schedule is sure I can spend a ton of hours working, but realistically, how can I make sure those hours are as high efficient as possible? Because there's always something that you can fill that time with that's going to make you more money. And that's only what I'm starting to see now. And solely because I'm not really looking for money today. I'm looking for money maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year. And so with even starting Biz Bros, that's the mindset. We're starting this, we're putting in a lot of time, a lot of effort, and we're hoping for a result down the road. Um, with my job, it's more of things I can learn. If I can learn how to communicate, negotiate with people, how to properly run projects and track everything and be on top of it, like that in itself will maybe not pay off today, maybe not pay off in 3 months, but over a year, continuously learning and grinding that out, it's going to be a game changer.
Oh yeah.
And so that's more of the thought process that I feel like I have now, where I understand that the skills or the skills and the things that you know and what you're learning are what really matters. And also the the value of your attention. I had like a existential thought this week. I have those sometimes.
Yeah.
Uh, where I have YouTube up on my laptop and I'm looking at the homepage and I'm scrolling and I don't see anything interesting. And so my mind, for some reason, decided to rationalize what I'm doing. And it says, you're looking for something that's worth your time. And when that really grounded in my head, I was like, that is crazy. Like, I'm just sitting here looking for something of value to me and looking for something that it is legit more valuable to me than my time.
Mm. And it's
Isn't that
funny, in the
interesting?
meantime, you're wasting your valuable time looking for something of value.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And I don't even want to get into like scrolling, like doom scrolling.
Mm-mm. I
Bro,
don't even
that
know.
stuff's
Yeah.
insane. Like you're scrolling through whatever, And I was explaining this to Christina, where I was like, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a cool video. Something caught my eye, but I skipped through it, you know, skipped through it. And I was like, I'm gonna go back to that video. And I thought that, I was like 5 to 3 videos down. Did I start scrolling up? It's like 15, 20. And I still remember seeing each one of these things. And I was like, this is
Yeah,
taking up so much memory. And I like it's such
no wonder I
a
can't remember people's names.
but it's such an unfruitful thing. Like
hmm
that has zero value. As close to
It's
zero as you
negative
can.
value. This is the thing though.
Negative
It's
value.
not even
That's
zero. It's literally taking you the opposite direction.
yeah. So I've been thinking about like the value of current or the currency of value and of attention,
Mm,
attention, of my own time, of my own energy. I've been thinking about that a bunch. And I
wow.
think that once that starts shifting, that's when again all the other things start to shift where all of a sudden you have some more time to spend with family. You have more time to, spend time with your community, to work out, to work more and whatnot. And like I've been seeing it firsthand, like actually start to shift and
Like you have a life, it feels like. It literally sucks your life away because
seriously, yeah.
you're working from sunrise to sunset. You think you're being productive the whole time, but then you start thinking, all right, I'm on my phone 5 minutes every half an hour, 10 minutes every half an hour. Like realistically, that probably happens. Someone calls you, like you're on a work call, or for me, whatever, and then you realize you spend the whole day being productive, or you think you are, or you're working, but most of that time is wasted, or a lot of it is.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. Like, yeah, same here. You look at, I use YouTube Shorts. That's because Instagram is freaky, dude. I can't even, I keep it on my other phone. I don't even know where it is. Like, that's how far I try to keep Instagram from me because
Yeah.
those, their algorithm is incredible, incredible
Hmm.
at literally stealing my life. But YouTube
Yep.
Shorts, it saves the history of every short you watch.
Yep. That's
And
nice.
so
Yeah.
sometimes I look through, I'm like, dude, feels like I've been on here for 2 minutes. It's been half an hour and I watched like 7,000 shorts. Like, how did I even do that? I could have like, dude, my time could be worth from anywhere to $0 an hour to like $100,000 an hour. I literally made a listing less than a month ago and it took me like 30 minutes of my time and
Yeah.
it's already done like 14 grand in revenue or 13
Yep.
grand. Just one listing. It's actually been 2 months. Anyway,
Yep.
so I'm like, dude, would I pay that much to sit and scroll? Would I pay that much to sit and scroll? Like that's how I started to think.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thought. At least I think it's interesting. Um, I've been looking at my business. I'm like, how can I make more money right now with the customer base that I have with all this stuff? Because I get average, depends on the day, but I think average I get 30% customer return rate. Some days it's 20, but average is 30.
Hmm.
And I'm like, how can I monetize, like make more money? I already have a great customer return rate.
Yeah.
Usually businesses, instead of having return customers over time, they just vanish. But I've been having the opposite effect.
Mm.
So I know I have a good product. I'm like, why have I done affiliate programs yet? Because a lot of people already refer their family and friends. If
Mm.
I offer an affiliate, either they make money, which I don't know if I would even have to do that. I would just tell them, hey, I'll give you a massive discount if you use this code. Like if you share this code with your friend, maybe I can even redirect them to the Shopify instead of Etsy
Yeah.
and send little business cards with the QR codes to the Shopify, taking them to their custom affiliate link. I could have
Hmm.
done this a long time ago, and I probably could have replaced Etsy very long ago. It's such a basic thing to do. It would
Yeah.
take me like one day to probably set it up, get the business cards ordered, and I
Yep.
just always kept putting it off. And I'm realizing what Alex says about just doing basic things.
Yeah.
Just doing the basics for your business can completely turn it around. And I'm not even able to do that. And yet we try to watch all the complicated videos and yeah.
Seriously. Mm.
Pretty wild. What do you think about that? Like, are you doing, is there basics that you aren't doing in your life that you know, like right now, off the top of your head, that would literally change the trajectory of where I'm going?
Yeah. First thing that comes to mind is reading. I think
Mm,
that if I start reading more, that's going to be a it's like the opposite of what social media does. Social media, like legit, I agree, drains the freaking life out of you. Reading does the opposite. Reading, you are not only reading of an experience, in some cases you can experience that experience while reading it. Yes. And and you're learning. Like it's actually beneficial. And again, arguably documentaries, YouTube videos that are like on business and stuff, that's helpful for sure. But
it
what I
gets to a
found is
degree
even
though.
again, even listening through one book, like I listened through Choose Your Enemies Wisely, that is giving me more value so far than any video I've watched ever in the last 5 years.
Yeah,
Although the videos will sometimes give you like a little boost here and there of like, some motivation or something like that.
yeah.
But the book has been like, I think about it all the time.
Hmm.
There's things that happen in life where I'm like, oh, this is interesting. I need to catch this, or this is interesting. And
Yeah,
I'm not even a reader. Like that's the first thing that comes to mind is like if I change that, that's going to be a like certain uptick like right away.
yeah. It's pretty interesting, dude. So with the Choose Your Enemies Wisely book, um, here, give me one sec. I'm gonna mute it. Um, Pretty much Alex Hormozy is like speaking about the same thing that drove him to succeed. It's
Yeah.
the same thing PBD was talking about in the book. The same thing I think a lot of people just end up being afraid of having other people being right about them.
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, yeah, we knew he was gonna be a failure. Like, they're right till they're 100% wrong. They're
Hmm.
like 99% right till they're 100% wrong. You can start 8 businesses and for the first 7 fail, but you only need one of them to work out and then they're wrong. And that
Yep.
like motivates you to like work harder. And I wouldn't say that's all of my motivation, but it definitely is a part of my thought process because
Yeah.
I've heard some people saying stuff and I'm like, all right, yeah, I see how it is.
Yeah. No, for sure. For sure. I think that that definitely drives you. You want to prove people wrong. Um, and on the positive side, you want to be able to support people. You want to be able to
Hmm.
change people's lives.
Yeah.
With I heard of this thing. I kind of want to do this sometime. I don't make enough money to do it, but I heard about this like some maybe it was a video, but I heard this somewhere. Maybe it was in a book where this guy had a practice of like he would just every once in a while pay for people's rent, like 1 month's rent.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
That's really interesting.
Like
Pretty
I
huge
thought,
though.
and I thought about that. Yeah, and I thought about that. I was like, if someone did that to me, I would be like I can't even explain how I'd feel.
Yeah.
Like over the moon. And yet it's very achievable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to affect people like that, yes, you need to make good money to support for your own family, but with
To be
like
able to be generous. Yeah.
yeah, to be generous like that, I feel like is a wonderful thing. And that's I think right now is what more drives me to continue working. Um, but yeah, the
No,
haters are
that's really
fun
good.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about this. Imagine your family member or a good friend is going through something terrible, say a medical emergency, and they owe 50 grand. And that's like they won't be able to pay it off for the next 5 years. because they need to, and then with interest accruing, it's gonna end up being like almost 100 grand. And
Yeah.
they, on top of already having like major issues, they're already stressed out, and then these finances, like this huge burden, and having the ability for that not to be a big deal and just helping them out. Of course, not letting people walk all over you, but in situations like that, I think that would be so amazing because I know a lot of people that are struggling like really bad, and like I really wish I can help them more.
Yeah.
And so like yeah, that's also a pretty big motivation for me to want to work and succeed for sure.
Yeah. That's definitely interesting.
Definitely does.
Yeah.
Quick plug. You guys want some nose strips? With me dropping
Nose
them soon.
strips, mouth tape.
Mouth
Yeah, they're
tape.
coming out soon. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for me, bro.
Any questions? Anything?
No,
Nothing come to mind. I think
I'm gonna see
same.
you soon though.
Yeah,
You guys are
very
coming
soon.
pretty soon, and Florida trip is already pulling up for me, so it's exciting.
Seriously.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully I'll get a selfie with PBD or something. That'd be
That'd be
cool.
wild.
Yeah,
You probably will. I think you
there's a
should be able
chance.
to, right?
I have no idea how it's all gonna work out, to be completely honest, but I'm very excited. We'll see how it goes. Got what was the platinum seats? No, no, no. Those are the super expensive ones. Ah, I don't remember, but it'll be cool. Hopefully they'll be rocking our product soon.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Um, yeah, so with Biz Bros, we're still currently working on launching the website. Hopefully we get it done very soon because I do want to start sending products out to people, and we're gonna have to figure out affiliate links and all that slowly, and
Yep.
codes. But that's our current process right now, what we're going through. I'm trying to gather funds in the next few weeks to start working on lifting straps. So that's, I think, my current end of progress is with the product.
Yep. Sweet, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. We're working on that and we're gonna get it done.
good stuff.
Yeah. Sounds good. This was a good episode.
All right. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
I think that's
All
it.
right. Yeah. We'll
Peace.
see whoever's watching
Yeah.
next time.
I don't think anyone watched this far. And if you did, leave a comment and let us know
Yeah.
you got to the end because I think most people watch 2 minutes. But anyways.
That's what it is.
All right,
Sounds
bye.
good, man. Bye-bye. Bye.